The internet is ablaze with the North Korean hacking scandal, and of course many people are skeptical of the government's official version, and they're saying it's a conspiracy that this even happened. But in this video we're going to lay out the facts and tell you about some of the information that came out that's important and that you won't get anywhere else. Now of course when you Google North Korea hack conspiracy, you get over 2 million results already. Let me tell you why people believe in what is a conspiracy theory now. Now, of course, the government's using this situation with the North Korea hacking scandal of Sony as a way to get more power and control, but they always done this. But today, President Barack Obama made a statement during a press conference saying that the internet is like the wild, wild west. He called for tightened cybersecurity. He even said himself, we need more rules about how the internet should operate, he said. No surprise, the government will take any situation and try to switch it so they can get more power. So this doesn't really prove anything. Of course, it also came out that on December 2nd, a U.S. State Department official, Obama's official, met with the China's censorship czar during a conference. But of course, this was just a meeting during a conference in early December. It doesn't really prove anything. Doesn't really prove that everything was a conspiracy, other than that the government's trying to get more control of the internet, which they always have. Some people, even another alternative media organization I won't mention but they're saying the Sony hacking scandal happened so they could get Project Goliath passed. But people don't read the articles, do your homework for God's sakes. People don't do this on the internet nowadays. They just spew out crap. So I'm surprised this alternative news organization did this. It makes everybody look bad, so I'm going to call it out here. But Project Goliath is a very important piece of information that came out, and it came out in the Sony leaks. So the hackers that hacked Sony released this information. And what is Project Goliath? It's something you should actually know about. It's very important. It's a secret group of the top executives of Universal, Sony, Fox, Paramount, Warner Brothers, and Disney working together against Goliath. And Goliath in earlier emails is called Google, and they're teaming up together, raising funds and trying to collect $500,000 each year annually for legal support, so they could actually sue Google, so they could get rid of pirated content online to get more control of the internet, which people are saying is censorship of the internet. And of course, you give any mega corporation or government a little bit of power, you give them a pinky, they're going to take your whole hand before you even know it. And of course, SOPA is something that major film companies have been after for a very long time, because it criminalizes people even sharing links to pirated content. And of course, many people within the film industry are angry that SOPA wasn't passed, and now they're secretly working on Project Goliath, which you should definitely know about. Now, even former FBI snitch Sabu of LowSec, which is a section of Anonymous, he even says, even the government's own snitch hacker says it's probably not North Korea who hacked Sony. Even though the government's saying, Korea, 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 it was Korea, I'm telling you it was Korea. The government's own snitch hacker Sabu is saying, no, probably not. And he's saying that because, one, there's no real evidence when it comes to the government making this claim that North Korea committed this hack. And also the fact that the people who did hack Sony had inside help. They needed someone to embed the malicious code in the software, and they needed to know the infrastructure of Sony's security system. And without knowing that, without having inside help, the Sony hack would not be possible. Now, the story of Sabu is extremely, extremely important, because it gives you an example of what the government is capable of. Now, Sabu was a hacker of LowSec. Many people just claim Anonymous. Anonymous is the easier way to call it, but LowSec was smaller, their own kind of group that aligned with Anonymous, which is just an idea anyway. So Sabu was a part of LowSec. The FBI caught him hacking. The FBI came to his house and said, you either work with us, you either do what we say, or you're going to jail for the rest of your life. Sabu said, you know what, I'm going to work with you, FBI. I don't want to go to jail for the rest of my life. I have kids. I don't want to do that. So he snitched out a lot of people within LowSec, but most importantly, he said, yes, FBI, I will follow every order that you tell me to do as one of the main guys of LowSec. And the FBI said, okay, let's set up anonymous operations, LowSec operations that hack 8 governments around the world. We will provide you the servers. We will tell you which government to hack. We will give you the keys to foreign governments, and we want this and this information. Sabu, when no one knew, he was caught. When no one knew he was working for the FBI, sent out these operations to LowSec, to the hackers, and then people like Jeremy Hammond and other hackers did actually hack foreign governments for the FBI, and everything went on the FBI servers without even Jeremy Hammond knowing this. And now Jeremy Hammond is in jail because he didn't snitch anybody out. But Sabu, the guy who complied, the guy who ran hacking operations for the FBI under the guise of Anonymous, is still out and free. But he even is conflicting the government's story and version of this whole situation. So the FBI set up operations to hack foreign governments and got all the information of whatever they wanted for their power. So that's very important. Now we know, according to documents released by Edward Snowden that were written about by Glenn Greenwald, that the NSA has the power and also the protocol to covertly infiltrate the internet, to manipulate, to deceive, and to destroy reputations of individuals, of organizations, and of countries. You could see in this document, again, all these articles will be in the description below, so you could actually click on these documents, read them for yourself, so you know what I'm telling you is not full of crap and assertions. Leave it for yourself. Don't even believe me. But again, Edward Snowden released documents how there's protocols within the NSA to set up false flags, to set up a cyber attack to make it look like one country attacked us through the internet, when it was really the NSA, and they're using this as a problem-reaction dialectic to enforce more power, more control, and to enforce going after the specific country that they're going after. Now we know this is true. Even Charlie Miller, an NSA contractor at DEF CON, gave a speech on June 25th, 2013. His speech was called Kim Jong-il and Me: How to Build a Cyber Army to Defeat the U.S. Charlie Miller, an employee of the NSA, talked about what else? A false flag cyber attack blamed on North Korea used to attack the U.S. Check out this video. It's in the description below. But I think the most important aspect that's being denied to you by the handlers, by the manipulators, that is the mainstream media, horse-string media, prostitutes, really, is the fact that no one's ever talking about the torture reports. Now this is extremely important. The torture reports finally made it to the headlines, finally made it to the mainstream, and now everyone's talking about Angelina Jolie's stupid frickin' email, and no one's talking about, what about the torture report? This is an extremely important precedent that we're setting right now, because if the people who tortured, the people who killed people illegally, murdered, started wars, sacrificed lives, decayed human dignity for their own personal wealth, for their own personal power, if they get away with this, if there is no accountability, if there is no prosecution of these individuals who committed these morbid, horrible, demonic, satanic acts, they will do it again. If we allow a government to do all these horrible things and not hold them accountable, what's stopping them from doing it again? And that's nothing. And that's why the mainstream media handlers are saying, look, North Korea, North Korea, North Korea, North Korea, email, celebrity, blah, 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 blah. They have no respect for you at all. Now this is an important article that came out by The Nation. The CIA, and this is a whole other story, you need to know this. The CIA didn't just torture people, it experimented on people, which proves an actual conspiracy that happened in the 1900s. The CIA experimented on human beings during in Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib, which is also not talked about. But the CIA not only tortured but experimented with human beings. And why did they do this? During World War II, Nazi scientists in Auschwitz started torturing people. They didn't torture people just because they were evil, not just because they knew it wouldn't give them any actual intelligence, but they were working on a scientific project on mind control. in Nazi Germany, in Auschwitz, they tortured people because when you torture people, you're able to split people up in different personalities. And when you're able to split people up in different personalities, you can learn how to trigger and control different personalities. The CIA heard about this. The CIA gave safe haven to these torturers. The CIA official conspiracy that turned out to be true, Project Paperclip, took Nazi scientists that tortured and murdered human beings, took them and gave them safe haven in the US. A factual conspiracy. And then they started working together on another factual conspiracy called MK Ultra, where they tortured people, split their personalities up, experimented on human beings, on different pain levels, on different just the most horrible things you could do to a human being. They did this so they could find out how they could control them. And that's where mind control came out of, which is an actual conspiracy. That's true. And of course, this is confirmed by a second source here. But many people don't even know. The story gets even deeper than the torture report. The mainstream media, even though they did mention the torture report, they didn't mention how what happened at Abu Ghraib, the prison in Iraq, was actually a lot worse. There was actually no one interviewed that was tortured in the CIA report. But here we see testimony with an official document that was leaked, talking about how children were raped in Abu Ghraib, in the prison that the US government ran in Iraq. We're talking about sodomy, we're talking about murder, we're talking about rape. And these people are free because everyone's talking. You know, what does it say about, and you know, I could say society. What does it say when people are like, yeah, torture is okay, but don't take away our entertainment. Don't take away our film. You can torture whoever you want, but don't take away our film. What does that say about the current society we're living on? Or most importantly, what does that say about how the mainstream media perceives reality? Because if you watch the mainstream media, they're all in lockstep. They all have the same talking points. They're all setting the same precedent. And people are still dumb enough to watch them and listen to them and give them any credibility at all. And that's what we're trying to change here. We're trying to change that. And it changes with getting rid of sloppy journalism. It changes with giving you the sources. It changes with giving you the facts. Now, me as an independent journalist, I made some mistakes and I declared them, and you can see my mistakes. If you go to twitter.com/Luke WeAreChange, on my Twitter, I declare every time I make a mistake. It's not easy. Definitely not good for my ego, but it's necessary. You don't see mainstream media outlets doing this at all. You see a lot of independent media organizations getting away with absurd theories. No theories. There's no direct evidence that the North Korean hacking scandal was an actual government conspiracy, and there's no actual evidence that it was North Korea. The truth is somewhere gray, and I have respect for you, not just to get your views, not just to pimp different theories out there and speculations that would get more views. I'm not with that. I'm here giving you the sources. Check them out in the description below. If you found this video helpful and informative, click the like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have more original content coming your way very soon.